What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darian's Competitive Pokemon. Going to be playing a game on PTCGO using Tapu Bulu Vikavolt right now. I think this deck is pretty good. It's increasing in play here in standard format, getting kind of popular at some League Cups lately because it does pretty well against Pokemon with 210 hit points. Pokemon with 210 hit points. I mean, we're talking about like Zoroark GX, Golisopod GX. There's a lot of Pokemon out there that have just that 210 hit point range. Also does pretty well against Volcanion. So it's definitely, not a bad option right now. And some players are looking at it as like, kind of a nice one-hit KO option, especially since Gardevoir is, kind of decreasing in play. Also, Silvally GX happens to have 210 hit points. I think that Silvally decks have not been very popular in League Cups from what I've seen lately. Haven't seen a lot of them being played. They were very popular at the European International Championships with everybody trying to counter not Gardevoir, but lately, haven't really seen them be all too big at these League Cups here, stateside. So my opponent is playing Gardevoir. They get a little bit of a bump start, but that's fine. I got Bridget. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Mew here, which is a really good option for me to have, and I'll talk about that in a second. Another Grubbin, and that's really it. I don't want to fill my bench anymore because I want to save room for Tapu Lele. And you can see that my hand is dead. So what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to go in with this. I'm going to put a Bulu on the bench. And I'm going to be able to go in with this Mew and just encounter. So that's like really good because it allows me to get a supporter. So I'm going to do that. Just retreat here and just encounter. It doesn't allow me to get a supporter. It allows me to get a Pokemon. And the Pokemon's going to be Tapu Lele. So that's a nice little boost in consistency that I have for the deck. I mean, Mew is, primarily going to be used to copy the attacks of the Pokemon that you have on your bench. Like, Tapu Koko. So it's cool because not only does this allow me to go in and counter here, but if my opponent does not knock out this Mew, then I will be able to copy Flying Flip, turn 2, which is a nice option as well. My opponent looks like they are going to just end me though, so that's fine. If I don't have to put that Tapu Lele down, then that's better for me, so I definitely don't mind that. And I got a Skyla Rare Candy, so this means that I am going to be able to go in with the turn 2 Nature's Judgment. So here we go. Cheers to that. That is definitely awesome. Let's go ahead, Skyla, for that Heavy Ball that we saw in there. Heavy Ball is just so good because this deck doesn't really love discarding cards. I mean, anybody who's played Bulu Vikavolt knows that. You don't love to discard cards with this, and Heavy Ball is just that free search, allowing you to get that Vikavolt out into play. It's super good. I've got plenty of grass in hand, so I can just go ahead, Strong Charge, get a Grass and a Lightning, attach them to my Tapu Bulu, and then we're just going to Nature's Judgment and go up some prizes. My opponent is just going to be stuck there. I mean, they've got like one Ralts. That thing is probably not going to be knocking out my Bulu next turn, like if I had to guess. So, like, that's not great for my opponent. They do have a double colors on it, though, so they can technically do it. If they Rare Candy and get a Gardevoir, and then they also get a Fairy and a double colorless and a Choice Band. So they would need like 6. Yeah, so they would need... Oh, and they scoop. So that's it. I'm probably going to try one more game here with the Bulu Vikavolt. You can see there, we just got off to a great start there. Going to just roll one more to give this deck, more of a well-rounded showing there. Another option that players are considering for Bulu Vikavolt, or that I've seen in the past, is that Clefairy from Evolutions. Yeah, from Evolutions, the Clefairy with the Metronome. That's another option for countering Gardevoir if you want to explore that. It's got that Metronome attack for 3 colorless energy, which just allows you to copy the attacks, attack on your opponent's active Pokemon. So obviously copying Infinite Force is pretty good, but the thing's only got like 40 hit points, so it's not very good if you happen to be playing against like a Buzzwole deck or something like that. It can be pretty easily abused there. So we do get a Grubbin start. It looks like my opponent is playing maybe Greninja or something if I had to guess, because it's just Water and Psychic in that deck. So I have to imagine that they might be playing Greninja. It looks like they are playing Greninja. So that's fine. They're going to give me a nice beefy hand here to get started with. It is a little bit annoying that I don't have yes to 2, that I do not have. Okay, so I've got the turn 2 Vikavolt in my hand right now. That's good. But I would like to get, less heavy ball. Let's go get ourselves a Bulu. And then we've got a Guzma in our hand. I want like a grass energy though. So I need to get a grass energy somehow. I don't really see how I'm going to do that in the context of what I got going on here. Oh, I'll just accelerate it with the Vikavolt. I don't think that's any problem. The Vikavolt, it's got Electro Cannon, discard 3 energy. That's not good. I need to just load up this attacker here. So I think, let's just hope my opponent does not end me. I will Skyla, and let's Skyla for probably a Bridget. And that way we could just get going there after I accelerate onto and just get more Pokemon out. So let's just do that. And we'll just go for Bridget next turn. And hopefully my opponent does not end me. So we'll just do that on the Grubbin there. I think that probably makes the most sense. Yep. And then let's just pass. And then next turn I'll accelerate a Grass and a Lightning to the Bulu. And then Guzma up. Probably a Froakie, I have to imagine. So if they don't end me, that's fine. If they do end me, well, that's fine. I mean, I wasted a Skyla. I got a Tapu Bulu out. It's not the end of the world. So that is cool. If my opponent does decide to bubble me or something, that's all good too, because it does not matter. They did end me though. See, they must have known that my hand was stacked. I don't know. That's fine. So we get the end, and oh, we still got a pretty decent hand here. They do get a heads on the bubble, but that does not matter because I've got the juice here in my hand. So let's take a look at my deck real quick. Brooklyn Hill, all right. Unfortunately, I cannot retreat, though. That is the awkward thing. I can Rare Candy. I think I'll do this. I'm going to Rare Candy into Vikavolt. And then I'm going to attach the Grass, and then I'm just going to get the Guzma. So we're going to go get Guzma here, and we're going to Strong Charge onto our Bulu, and then Guzma up, to get this thing out of the active position. So let's do that. Put them both on the Bulu, and here we go. Gameplay enacted. This is all we needed, and we've got ourselves a turn 2 knockout with the 3 energy Bulu. That's pretty much the best we can ask for. Let's just Nature's Judgment. No, I would not like to discard all my energy. So let's just knock that thing out. 240 damage. See you later. That is pretty good. So now we're off to the races here. We're just going to try and accelerate as many grass energy as we can to Tapu Bulus from here on out. Next turn my opponent is going to water duplicates. Eventually they will attack into me, and then I could Tapu Wilderness GX to heal myself one time too. That is something cool that we got going on as well. Just another option that we have. Eventually, my opponent will start to Shadow Stitch, though, which will be annoying. I mean, it's probably next turn they will Shadow Stitch. So this turn, I need to get as many energy as I can into play. I mean, it's only going to be 2 energy with this Vikavolt, but that is fine, because after that, I can just start manually attaching. Maybe if they prized a couple of Frogadier, they won't get too many Frogadier into play. That could be good for me too, but let's see what their Frogadier situation is. If they get 3 Frogadier, that can be a little scary, but yeah, that's fine. No prize Frogadier. This is a little frightening, but I'm not terribly concerned. We did top deck our, let's see, do we have another Lightning Energy left in deck? Yes, we've got 1 left, so that's fine. I think that I definitely want to just bridge it here, just to guarantee myself the Bulu, because if I don't get the Bulu, that's just going to be so bad. So let's get 2 more Bulus, and that's good. So we're going to get those, and then we're going to Strong Charge. Yep, a Grass and a Lightning. Attach those both to a Bulu as well, and then we're just going to put the Lightning here on this last one, and we're going to Nature's Judgment. So that's it. Taking another prize here. Next turn, my opponent's in a weird position because they can either they could just Shadow Stitch me, but Shadow Stitch will only do 40 to 70 damage. Not really setting them up for a great, you know, knockout next turn. And they're just taking knockouts every turn. From here into the foreseeable future. Next turn, I'm going to Sycamore so long as I hit a grass. Then I have another Tapu Bulu powered up, which is just so good. I can Nature's Judgment to totally heal myself. I imagine I'll probably, you know, you want to get full effect out of the Nature's Judgment. But I will probably just use it after they Shadow Stitch me, especially if they get another Greninja into play, then I will heal it. But if they don't get another Greninja into play, then I'm gonna wait till they hit me one more time. Now, if they have no Greninja here, that is really good for me. That means that I can wait one more turn before I use my my Tapu Wilderness, because they won't be able to knock me out next turn pretty much no matter what they do. Now, this is a situation. Oh, they do have it though. So like now you definitely want to use that Tapu Wilderness heal here. Just like heal myself completely. Give myself a little more time to draw into energy naturally. You can see my opponent has stuck me here. So that is a little frustrating. Hopefully I can draw into a supporter or something like that. You know, something else that's annoying that I can do to my opponent is I can like Guzma up this Staryu. I can knock that out. You know, taking out this deck's energy, you know, with in the form of that Starmie is just like a very good thing to do. But I do want to see, like, just wait and see if my opponent. Oh, they did not. Okay, so they did not stop my abilities. Very interesting decision on my opponent's side of the field, not stopping my abilities, because that means that, you know, I am free to accelerate one more time, which makes a big difference, especially since my hand is kind of dead. So let's just go ahead. We're going to Wilderness here. And then we're going to accelerate, you know, I don't need to do that. Let's just do the Vikavolt, Strong Charge, accelerate a grass onto the benched Tapu Bulu there. And now we can just afford to Wilderness. I can't use the Energy Recycler yet, so let's just do that. Knock out my opponent. I mean, we are pretty much cruising here. I don't really see my opponent being able to pull this one back out, especially since they only have one Greninja break. One Greninja that can become a Greninja break this turn. Even if they do get like Greninja break, you know, and then evolve this into a Greninja, it's going to be tough for them. They could do a maximum of like 170 damage, but if they do 170 damage, they're allowing me to continue to accelerate energy as well. They also, by, you know, by bringing that splash energy back, they did not save their Greninja last turn, so they didn't even get to bring it back into their hand. They have to Super Rod it. So who knows if they will get those pieces to be able to start lying them back down. Either way, I mean, this is definitely looking stressful for my opponent. They do know that from now on, like, their damage is going to stick. But at this point, they've got a lot of Tapu Bulus to chew through. Like, I've got 3 out here right now. And if they're Shadow Stitching, they're not really doing enough damage. So they're definitely, like, in this compromising position. You can see they just go for the... you know, they go for the Moonlight Slash. They know they need to do a lot of damage. They can't really afford to do it. That Tapu Koko, he ain't going to be doing nothing for me right now. Let's just go ahead, Strong Charge, get one more grass into play while we can before my opponent gets hip and starts using Shadow Stitch. And they scoop. So that's it. I mean, that was like pretty good for my side of the field. I mean, that's a quick 2-0 there with Tapu Bulu. So this deck, you know, it's performing pretty well in standard format right now. Seen it starting to top some more cups. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the list that I'm working with right now. Wow, we got a Glaceon. I'm actually not sure that I had a Glaceon on PTCGO, so that's like good to have. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the list real quick just to show you what I'm working with as far as Tapu Bulu goes. There are a couple cool things in here. Got the Tapu Koko GX, which Mew can copy. Tapu Thunder, pretty good against decks like Gardevoir or Volcanion. Also, you know, just 3 Tapu Bulu. The Koko here, you know, in case you need it for Gardevoir, just to like bring their hit points down to that 210 range. But, you know, it's actually probably not as good as the Metronome Clefairy now that I'm thinking about it, just because they can Max Potion that off, and a lot of the Gardevoir decks are playing Max Potion these days. So that's it for the deck. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.